last year when I bought NBA Playgrounds and there was that whole debacle with everything, the online, just everything with the Nintendo Switch version, they had promised everybody, like, hey, if you bought this game before our first update, our first big update, we're going to give you Shaq Fu, a Legend Reborn, for free when it releases. And I was like, we wanted another Shaq Fu? I never played the first game, but I know that it's kind of universally known as like a really terrible, terrible game. So I was really surprised by a sequel to this, or just another game. So it released on the Switch this year. I had totally forgot about it. So I downloaded it and gave it a shot. And what's it like? Well, I have some thoughts. So let's get to it. Start that timer.
All right, where to begin? Well, actually, let's start here. I could probably fit it all in this opening screen. This is literally the first screen that I saw in the game, was this loading screen. We're going to jump ahead here in a sec, but I sat here for minutes waiting for this thing to load, and it loads every single time like this. And then I remember thinking at the end of it, once it loaded up, I was like, okay, sweet, we finally made it. I see the other logos, jump into a menu, let's get into the game. Maybe it loaded it all up front and it's going to be good to go. And as soon as I started the game and got into the first level, oh wait, there's more loading screens. Womp womp. So that's the first problem. It's a lot, and I actually cut down a lot of footage here just to kind of speed things up. Yes, this is speeding things up with the loading. It's just not very good. So anyway, to the story. The story is ridiculous, and this entire game tries way too hard to be funny and just like off the wall and over the top ridiculous in all the bad ways. It's just not very good. So Shaq was raised by a lady in China, grows up, learns kung fu, and then all of a sudden demons show up and he's got to fight demons. And there are cutscenes, and the cutscenes are sufficient enough. That's probably the highlight of this game for me, was the cutscenes looked kind of neat, but even then it was like, ugh, some of the artwork was just not very good. And then you basically just go through various levels. There are a few different levels to go through, worlds to go through, and you just fight demons and locals, I guess you could call them. And there are a few different moves you can do. You can punch kick, you can punch kick, you can punch 3 times and kick. Very, very intuitive and very, very complex battle mechanics, I know. And then you can do like a pound your hand into the ground, and then at the end of each level you fight a boss, and the boss fights are just as uninspired as the rest of the gameplay in the levels. Not very good. And so that kind of sums up the game. That's all you're doing, and you rack up points, and it's not very fun, honestly. And then after that, alongside of all this, there's just it just tries way too hard. Like, you come across Icy Hots, and then he says something about Icy Hot. I'm like, ugh. And then you see these guys like you see here, do you even lift, bro? And it's just, and you know, there's all sorts of terrible jokes in this. And I like puns. I like over-the-top ridiculous humor. But it just felt like the entire time that the game was trying just way too hard. It was just trying way too hard to be funny and witty and over-the-top and ridiculous, and it's not good. And then mix that with the... I could not tell you any of the music that was in this. I can't remember any of it. It is just not creative or very good. And then mix that with the level designs, which are kind of boring and just, you know, decent backgrounds, but not too crazy, with the uninspired gameplay of just punching some buttons and going through, and then the terrible voiceover, hiya, hooya, hiya, hiya, as Shaq pummels people. And there's like no puzzle elements really. There's nothing really here, and you can, you know, there are little things every now and then where you pick, like you get a suit of armor, or you can pick up weapons, and it kind of adds to it. But even then it's frustrating because you get this weapon and then it breaks after a few times. So it's like, okay, well, I was having fun with that weapon. And so it's really, really tough for me to try to find something good about this game. It was just kind of there. Like, there was really no reason for this game to exist. And the gameplay and the story and the visuals are not, as you can see here, the visuals are lackluster at best. In the voiceovers, just everything was just not good about this game. So yeah, I kind of had fun with the loading times more than I did the actual game itself, because then at least I could crack jokes and talk about things during it. So that was kind of fun, right? It's probably no mystery what I think about this game, but you know what? Let's do those bullet points anyway. First of all, loading times, very bad. Second, visuals, bad. Music, bad. Gameplay, mediocre at best, but serviceable, so it actually functions, but still not very good. The dialogue and the humor, bad. The story, bad. Much of it is just kind of stupid jokes, but some of it could be taken as kind of offensive, and it's just not good in any aspect. And did I mention those loading screens? So obviously I cannot recommend this game at all.